I feel like I'm floating through
Whenever we are challenged, the major argument put forward is always, this is foreign, this is un-African. And as long as we continue to front non-Africans to speak for us, that argument is going to remain. We need the Africans to come up and take the lead in spearheading the advocacy for the rights of LGBTIs in Africa.
If you look back in the history of Africa, it was always there. It always existed.
It's never been brought by anyone. It's always been there. It goes back to, wow, the Middle Ages, the Dark Ages, the Stone Age. It was there. It's always been there.
Going back to the days of Shaka Zulu, of Shaka Zulu of South Africa, what the tradition was, before they went out to war, the warriors would sleep with the more subservient men in order to give themselves more power, and they believed that that actually gave them more power in times of war.
Homosexuals have lived with us since time immemorial in Africa. They've been there even during the King Shaka days, during before even the colonialists actually came to Africa. Even though they had names for them, maybe didn't understand it as such, but homosexuals have always been there.
We also have the cases in Zimbabwe of our own traditional healers, but speaking mainly of the women, the Mbuyas as they are known. Like we had Mbuya Nihanda, she was the famous traditional leader. And they were believed to be possessed by the spirits of men. So they were not allowed to be waited on by any males. So they were waited on by young women. And there's nothing documented, but it is strongly believed that they did have some physical sexual contact between these traditional leaders, healers, and these women. So it would be very blasé to say it's not an African thing, because these things happened before the white man even landed in Africa. So especially in this part of the country, I can't speak for the rest of Africa, but speaking for Southern Africa, that certainly is the case.
Okay, if you say homosexuality is un-African, is albinism African? We are talking of things that are biologically proven and genetically proven here about homosexuality. It's funny when a lot of people say it's from the West. They learn this concept from the West, and so on and so forth. I mean, it's been years, it's not today, where heterosexual parents have been giving birth to homosexual children. And they will come back and criticize those children that they gave birth to.
It's not a choice. You don't just blink an eye or sleep and wake up and decide that, you know what, I want to be gay so that people will call me names. I want to be gay so that people can hang me or kill me and whatnot. It's really, really sad, actually, because you're confused. You don't understand where you are, what you do and whatnot, and possibilities that you might be disowned by your family, friends, people that you love and so forth. But then anyway, we are here, we are born this way. This is who we are. We can't change ourselves.
The only thing that's un-African is colonialism, and that brought in the whole issue around homophobia. But before colonialism, there's evidence that it's never been an issue. So it's never been an issue in Africa up until the people made it an issue. So it's always been African. But as long as we keep on saying it, we give it power, and we shouldn't.
I believe homosexuals have actually been part of the community. There were homosexuals who would go there and to the river with women and go cook whatever, go fetch water. It's always been part of us. Just that maybe when the white men came to Africa with the Bible, they changed the perception and things started changing and such. And then there was this deep hatred for homosexuals as such.
Homosexuality is not African. Whereas I have a name in African for it. It could be that it was not quickly known in Africa. What I mean is, it never came in the open early in Africa. But it was happening.
It's just it never had a definition till it was defined and it was put in a box. Then it became un-African, un-Zambian, un-Asian, un-whatever. But it's always been there.
I think people use that because it's easy and it hurts.
Use what?
The word being, homosexuality is un-African or being gay is un-African. They use it because it's very powerful and it hurts. And as long as we give it power, people will keep on using it.
To me, I don't think homosexuality is un-African. It's really African because, it's here and we are who we are.
It's something which is being done by humans, regardless of their race, regardless of where they're coming from, but it's being done. So if we put race on this homosexuality, it would then mean maybe homosexuality, the partners in actual sense, maybe has to be of the same race in order to be able to practice it. Now, if then I am able to practice homosexuality, say with an Indian, it would then mean that we have the same feelings and we feel the same. And we are humans regardless of being of the race.
It's so easy to gay bash someone. But it's so difficult for someone who's being gay bashed to grow from that. And it's only experiences that someone has gone through that help someone else understand that they're not alone in a struggle. They're not alone in such a period of time. They're not the only ones who are experiencing that or have experienced that.
I feel I don't want to put races on homosexuality. It's just for human beings.
Forced to break the silence. Is that a crime? Is that a crime?